What up, Dokkaners? We got a ton of information to go over on the JP data download because we have a bunch of things for 9-year anniversary to discuss. We have some surprising new EZAs that are coming to JP. So we're gonna go through from the top and we're just gonna cover everything that we can. If there's anything that I miss, I will drop more information in the pinned comment down below. So definitely check out the comment section. So without further ado, let's jump in here. Starting with the support EZAs, a major surprise, although I have wanted this for a long time. The 50% supports are finally getting EZAs. Now, does this mean we are ushering in a rebirth to the mono era, the mono type lead era? No, I don't think so. I think that this is just simply another step in the ongoing lineage of EZAs and like retcons and all that stuff. So we'll have to wait and see what they eventually do with this, but I was hoping for these 50% supports to get EZAs to where they basically could support at 60%, and they actually do some pretty insane things. Now, funny enough, all of these units basically do the same thing in their passive. The only things that are different would be the typing, would be the extreme or super class. So to make this easier, we are not going to be utilizing the Dokkan Info translation. Instead, we're just going to utilize this right here. So big shout out to Kirito on Twitter for tagging me on this. This effectively covers the full breakdown of what they all do in terms of their passives, and then their super attacks are what differ. So starting with TN, we'll take a look at the leader skill is also the same, right? So tech type, E+3, stats 150. So that is pretty crazy. That is pretty major because these now usurp the previous leads for the monotypes. So, I mean, I don't think that this makes this, you know, the rebirth of the mono era. We also need these units to become available in the general summoning pool. These units are some of the rarest units in the game simply because they only show up on one freaking banner a year, and that is the support banners. They have their own separate support banners. It is so irritating to have to summon for these guys. I don't have any of these guys rainbowed. These are some of the units that I have never been able to max out because around the time that they were around, I wasn't quite full on whale mode yet. So the next time that these babies roll around, I'm probably gonna have to summon more for them than I do for anybody else. So this has me in super saver mode now. But anyway, let's start with the leader skill, the super attack, and then we'll go through the passive, and then everybody else's super attacks will differ. So tech type 150% lead. For TN specifically, we'll save that. For the passive, so the type, key +3, stats +10%. Then the super type or extreme type, whatever that is, attack and defense +50. So you're getting the 50% boost and an extra 10% and key +3. Randomly changes key spheres of a certain type other than the type into that type. That is one thing. Attack and defense +50 per type key sphere obtained. So you've got a nuking passive both offensively and defensively, plus an additional attack and defense +20% and chance to crit +10 per type key sphere obtained. This is ridiculous. This is insane. Like, how? This is ridiculous. Then you've got, if there are 2 or more super or extreme class allies on the team other than that character, change all key spheres into said type key spheres when HP is 50% or below. Guards all attacks for 4 turns when there are 3 or more tech type allies on the team from first appearance. So that is the full breakdown of the passive for each type. So you simply just interchange super and extreme and whatever typing based on the unit that you are using. Now going through all the different super attacks, starting with tech TN, greatly raises attack for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and greatly lowers attack and defense. For the tech second form Cell, greatly raises defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and greatly lower attack and defense. For int Vegeta, greatly raises attack and causes supreme damage with a high chance to stun. For the Kid Gohan, causes immense damage, raises attack and defense by 50% for 9 turns. This happens second? Really? Is this one of those stupid abilities where it happens after the fact? I think it is. It is. So yeah, that is not... You're not gonna... Basically, you're not gonna feel the effects of the stat boosting until the following turn, or if you have additionals kicking in. STR Hito gives you greatly raised defense permanently, causes supreme damage, high chance to stun. Kaba causes immense damage, raise attack and defense by 50% up for 9 turns. That is some crazy stats. AGL Pan causes supreme damage, raises allies attack and defense by 30% for 2 turns. Hyper Meta Rildo AGL greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, both temporary. Causes supreme damage and lowers attack and defense. And Seals Physical Super raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage, and recovers 20% health. Physical Gohan greatly raises attack and causes supreme damage with a high chance to stun. So there you go. That is the new, I don't know, the second wind of the mono era. Let me know in the comments if you guys want the mono era to return, or do you think that this is just simply a novelty in the long line of EZAs that they eventually decide to do? And also, do you think that they are going to implement these units into the regular general summoning rotation? I would very much love to see that. Now, also, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku is live on the JP side of the game. Let's go through the campaign details, and then we'll talk about the 9-year anniversary stuff. So let me pull up the campaign info. So this one, combat power, update, fan meetup, and musica. I think that covers everything. Is there anything over here? Combat power bonus mission. Okay, this should cover everything. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is the new campaign for the JP side, end of year-end New Year celebration. Well, it's not a new campaign, but they're adding on to it. So you got the Super Saiyan 3, you got all of these supports on their own separate banners on the 18th. So a week from now, this is going to be happening. And now look, the thing about these banners, if there's a particular LR that you're trying to pull, you have the best chance at pulling that LR if it's a general random unit, because these filter out by types. So if you're trying to summon for like LR Goku Frieza, this banner gives you a great chance to get that LR Goku Frieza. So these summons do help in certain respects, but in general, this is one of the biggest cons out there, because it forces you to split your summons across so many different banners that it's basically impossible to do that unless you're a whale. And this is a feat that even I have not been able to achieve in my years of having a channel and covering the game. My whaledom has not reached the point where I could handle this. So this is going to be something that eventually, as a global player, I will have to face. Hopefully, I will be ready to do this, because I want to rainbow these clowns once and for all, because this is a black mark on my ledger, and I got to get it out of there. So that is going to be dropping for JP players in a week. An Extreme Z area is going to follow. It is not going to be an Extreme Z battle. So much to the dismay of probably a lot of you, this is not going to be something like the Fierce Battle 7, where you go through the 30-stage regular pattern. This is just an Extreme Z area, which I think is a misstep, but hey, it is what it is. Maybe it's because this is a blue coin unit and they are going to continue to be blue coin units. I don't know. So that is all that we've got for those in 1 week. The new red zone stages are live right now, stages 3 and 4. So look out for JP creators covering those. And then everything else, yep, pretty much all that stuff. All right, so this campaign is taken care of. Let's take a look at the combat power campaign here. So this is what we're going to be taking a look at in a second. XP has been maxed out. Stamina or boost recovery has been reduced. You've also got Grand Elder Guru. 5.17.0 update is in effect for JP. So the new update has dropped where the power level bonus incentives have all kicked in. Now, I snuck a peek on Truth's live stream, and apparently they've also tweaked with the power level to where there's no longer a comma on like the higher power levels. I don't know if that's the case for the lower ones, but the higher ones, there's no longer a comma. So it actually kind of just looks like it's an ID number. So like Truth's power level is like 17 million, which is insane. But they're also squeezing in like a bonus metal symbol in there. So everything else has to fit on the left, and it looks like an ID number instead of an actual power level. That's kind of funny. Also, the fan meetup titles have been released for all those players who are eligible to attend. So hopefully the one person who watches my videos who is attending, you have your title. So shout out to you, wherever you are. We've also got background music updates. Now, the reason why I wanted to point this out was because I was hoping that there would be some extra songs in here, but nothing as of yet. They are only discussing the fact that they are going to have the 2 songs, the hero song, so obviously from Battle of Gods, and then Flow Vengeful Golden Emperor, which is apparently by an artist called Maximum the Hormone, and the song title is called F. You should go listen to that song. It's actually pretty intense and pretty cool. If you have not, if you're a dub enjoyer like myself, you probably have never heard of that, so definitely go check it out. It is pretty dope. That covers all of that. Then there are missions for the combat bonus mission stuff, which is not listed here. Awesome. This is the red zone, so you got the new stages for, I think it's Bio Broly, and is like Play-Doh fighters, and you've got legendary Super Saiyan Broly. Yeah, so that's Tao, right? Then it's Dr. Wheelo, then it's Broly, and then it's Bio Broly. Okay. Now let's go over the 9-year anniversary stuff. So apparently the power level maxes out at 3 million for maximum rewards and bonuses. So if you are somebody who is striving to receive the maximum amount of bonus, you should strive for a 3 million power level, not anything higher. I am at an 8 million power level. Truth is, I think, double that. There is somebody on global who's like even higher than Truth. So, you know, for players like us, we have nothing to worry about when it comes to the bonuses. Now, speaking of the bonuses, big shout out to Thieving 6 for providing this information here. Some of the incentives that we know of for the power level, things like training items dropping, Zenny, and all that stuff. This is the baseline level reward. So at 100,000, I believe that is the first tier of bonus rewards. So you see here, the drop rate of training items is increased by 1%. The amount of Zenny acquired increases by 1%. The recovery time for boosts is reduced by 10 seconds. Boosts typically take 8 hours, right? So this is cutting down at level 1 at 10 seconds. The amount of time to recover stamina is reduced by 3 seconds. Stamina costs 5 minutes, so only 3 seconds is cut down at the first level. The price of items for exchange points have been reduced by 1%. Increase the number of attempts for Dokkan and Hit Punch Machine +1. So this is the punching bag event, and I don't know if this is going to apply to any other sort of an event like that. Hopefully it does. Also, it's going to be fun to see how this coincides with celebrations, where they reduce stamina time anyway. They reduce boost cooldown anyway. How is this going to mesh with that? Is it just going to be piled on top of that? Or what? Is it going to be percentage based? This is what it's going to do at the maximum. So these are just some of them. The drop rate of awakening metals increases by 25% instead of... Oh, it's not here. Okay, awakening metals wasn't on the first example. But training items was 1%. Training items is gone. Okay, well, whatever. We'll start with Zenny then. Zenny goes from 1% increase to a 100% increase. So pretty significant. The recovery time for reward bonuses is reduced by 1,200 seconds. What? 1,200 seconds? That is 20 minutes, right? Yes, 20 minutes. You are reducing boost time cooldown. Oh, right. It's 8 minutes. Right. Okay. It's 8 hours. So for 8 hours, you don't have a boost. It is now going to be cut down at most to 7 hours and 40 minutes. You combine that with some of the other, celebrations where they will increase or, reduce the cooldown even more. That is going to be pretty significant. That is going to make a big difference. Stamina recovery is reduced by 3 seconds. That now maxes out at 60. So a full minute. So out of 5 minutes that it takes to recover stamina, it's now going to cost you 4. During celebrations where the stamina recovery drops down to 3 and you reduce a minute, it would drop down to 2. That's going to be nuts. Okay. Price of Zenny items reduced by 25%. So the discount has gone from 1% to 25%. Number of attempts in +1. Okay, so that didn't change at all. So the number of attempts for punching bag only increases by 1. Okay, so that is not going to change. I'm sure that there will be other things in the future that they will also include. Also, hidden potential orbs is not here, so I don't have all the values, but at least it gives you an idea for what it's going to be like. So with these being the maximum values, and with the fact that 3 million seems to be the maximum power level that you need to be, that sort of gives you an idea for what your journey needs to be like to hit those max rewards. If you're somebody who likes to max out on rewards, on drop rates, then this is going to be something that you should focus on doing for the immediate future. And if you're a global player watching this, focus on grinding at your power level as soon as possible. The sooner you do it, the sooner you can hit the ground running with these power level bonuses. You don't want to be caught lacking. So this is where being a global player is going to help out for the few times that we're going to have this ability left. Definitely keep this in mind and try to hit 3 million power level as quickly as possible without, burning stamina. Now also, or not burning stamina, burning stones. Now, this was tweeted out by our very own Dokkan Assets. And as you can see here in this image, let me actually pull up the image a little closer. You have a boost and you have a bonus. The bonus is a byproduct of the power level bonus rewards. So because of that, you are getting an extra bonus on top of the regular rewards, on top of the boost. So this is going to be signified by a little scouter, like little target reticle thingy on the left side of the icon. So that's how you can see the difference between this one and the boost, which is actually pretty cool. Now let's move on to what we were talking about in the previous video, and that was the new mechanics. So there were three things that we talked about, three components: the new causality, the target focus effects, and the round skills, aka territories. Now there's nothing new so far on the causality thing, where they talk about depending on the certain typing that you're facing off against. So we'll have to wait for another video, or perhaps check down in the pinned comment if there's anything that I missed. But for the other two things, let's talk about that. The target focus effect. So as you can see here from this image, it's very obviously some sort of a magnet where you're basically drawing all of the fire in, and whatever unit that uses the effect should be able to handle all of the attacks. Now, does this mean that all of the attacks themselves are going to be redistributed to that one slot? I'm not sure. Will they remain in their original positions and then just automatically target this guy? I don't know how it's going to work, but this is what we've been given so far. This is what we have in the assets. Here's the actual animation for it. Wait, where did the animation go? Where'd it go? What? All right, there it is. So this is the animation for the battle target animation. It shows that it's kind of zooming in and locking in. Everyone's going to be attacking him. Does this apply to one unit? Does this apply to a horde of enemies? We don't know, but this is the start. So this definitely gives you a more visual component to what we've been discussing here. Next thing is the round skills. Now the round skills is just going to be for the enemy. This is not going to be for you. This is only going to be for the opponent. So what you're seeing here is basically the round skill activation taking place for them. The round skill is basically, so far, it's just territories, it's domain. It feels like a domain bonus, except it's only relevant for them. This is not, I wouldn't consider this to be the 9-year anniversary like marquee mechanic. That is probably going to be the taunt, which is the target focus effect. That is going to be like the new strategic element that you use to get through certain events. So this is basically the animation for the enemy. This is also like the individual assets for it. Oh, what's that? Oh yeah, that's just like the blur thing. So this, along with that little image, that icon that you saw in the previous video where it shows like somebody powering up, that is going to be available on the battle UI for the enemy. So you can see what their territory bonus or their round skill bonus will do for them, but it won't do anything for you. And this is also on top of the fact that we already have a domain skill that they can also utilize. So call it unfair, call it not, whatever, it is what it is, and that is going to be something that we have to deal with. Now, what you're looking at here are some updated icons. Some of the newer ones you might notice is this like general PNG right here. This is like a purple slash thing. This kind of reminds me of a Grand Cross symbol, which I think is critical gear. You've also got, in terms of new stuff, there is this down here. This is obviously the target focus skill where it draws all of the fire into the one character. There are some updates to like things I think pertaining to nullification, because yeah, key nullification right here. You see a physical attack nullification right here. Potentially this could have something to do with maybe the unidentifiable super attack type. Like there's the hand-to-hand super attack, there's the key-based super attack, there's the armed or like weapon-based super attack, and then there's the final super attack type that is inquantifiable, things like Cell Max, right? It's supposed to be a separate type because that way nobody can block it, nobody can stop it. That's ultimately the point of it. So maybe this is potentially a placeholder symbol for that, or perhaps it's something else. Also, this one here, it says Flame Round Skill. Oh, skill. I read skull. So I was like, what does Ghost Rider have to do with this? And I think that's it for, oh, actually, what's this one? This one is new. Never seen this one before. We've had a lot of new icons in the game that we haven't really used yet. So I don't even know if all of these are going to be used. Maybe they're going to be just placeholders for stuff in the future. This is key bonus. We do have this. Oh, you know what these are? I think this is things that they would show on like the enemy UI at the top where it shows all the different things that are going on, because you've seen this. Yeah, so I don't know what this one is though. But I think that effectively covers everything. Let me just do a quick sweep online to see if there's anything that I missed. Oh, of course, forgot about the Proton tweet. Big shout out to Proton for all things data download information. Follow him on Twitter at Proton10MG. Okay, thank you. You got Super Battle Road Stage 73, ESBR Stage 53, URS Movie Edition Stages 3 and 4, Extreme Zero as we talked about, and Chain Battle, the final Chain Battle for you JP players against Herdiger. That is going to be happening very, very soon. When is it actually happening for you guys? Like in a week? Whatever. Anyway, that pretty much covers everything that I could possibly find on this data download. And like I said in the previous video, the new mechanics are essentially One has to do with you, one has to do with the enemy. The one that has to do with you is the taunt, the target focused skill. This is the one where you draw the ire of the opposition all onto you. Could this mean that we're going to be fighting wave after wave of enemies? Is this new 9-year anniversary going to be focusing more on fighting multiple opponents? Is it going to be more so that you just redistribute all of the attacks? That still remains to be seen. And then for the enemy side, they will be the beneficiaries of this new round skill thing. Round skill, for all intents and purposes as of right now, is basically just domain, but for just the bad guys. Domains normally apply to everybody, but in this case, round skills is a subsection of domain that only has to do with the enemy. So call it unfair, call it whatever. Point is, that is how it's going to be. So we'll have to wait and see how this is going to be applied and for what units this is going to first debut on the 9-year anniversary. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on all of this information that we were just given. The 50% support EZAs. Are you excited for them? Are you going to be summoning for them, JP players? Global players, are you going to be summoning for them eventually whenever they drop on our version? Also, does the new incentives and like power level bonuses, things that you saw, the min maxes, is that changing your mind in terms of approaching the link leveling, the power leveling process? Are you trying to now get to that 3 million cap so that you can benefit from all those bonuses, or do you really just not care? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below. Let me know if there's anything that I missed. I don't think that there is, but check the pinned comment down below as well. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you know when I say more. Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.